everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Nostalgia Mate. Today we're talking about Deadpool ahead of the brand new film Deadpool and Wolverine. And today you're joined, as always, by myself, the witty, funny contribution to this podcast. And I'm joined with a man who has big claws of Cooper Britton, everyone.
Oh, he balled it at the end. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Sometimes it's funnier to not say anything at all.
I mean, I've just cut my nails, and I do sometimes have longer nails. Like, not like crazy long, not like world record long, but I quite like slightly
Wolverine
longer nails. But I have.
I reckon you could, like...
They do protrude my fingers sometimes. I think that's. I think that's a word.
I don't have nails ever because I have anxiety.
Do you bite your fingernails?
I do, yeah. Horribly. A lot. Anyway, welcome to the...
welcome to the episode.
Everyone. Today we're talking about Deadpool.
Yes.
Brand new film, Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. And obviously there are two other Deadpool films that we've both seen that we could talk about. As well as our expectations going into the new Deadpool and Wolverine film. As well as where we're both at with Marvel. Because I'm off the Marvel train at the minute.
I'm still on the Marvel train. I am currently tied down. Some may say
not by me
to the seat of the.
Not by me. He's doing this podcast of his own free will.
I'm free to move from the podcast, but the Marvel train. I'm attached to the Marvel train. I'm a permanent resident of the Marvel train. to some misfortune, but out of the more recent movies, this is probably maybe one I've been most excited for movie-wise for quite some time. Maybe since Guardians 3. I think Guardians 3 and this one are my most hyped of like recent Marvel movies.
I think, yeah, probably. I think for me, I sort of watched the TV shows of Phase 4. I sort of checked out. And I came back for a few films and I saw one too many projects in a row where I was like, this is not good enough. I'm not enjoying it. I'm done. And then Guardians, obviously, was one that I was looking out for. So it's like those individual ones, like Guardians 3, Deadpool, right? Deadpool hasn't had a film since when? Like, what, 2016, 2017, I want to say?
I want to say 2017 was Deadpool 2, maybe.
2018,
it's been
apparently.
God damn. 2018. It's still been a while.
It is a while, but it was relatively soon after the first one, wasn't it? They came out, so the first one
it was really quick.
The first one was 2016, so it was a 2-year gap between the first two, and then...
Yeah.
How long since 2018 has it been? 6 years?
6 years. Jesus.
Dear me.
6 years since Deadpool. Wow. It doesn't feel that long.
Yeah, it does. I think it kind of does.
While.
You know? Because
I guess with all the stuff with 20th Century Fox and stuff, but then
there's been a lot of stuff going on.
That's 6 years since like X-Men. Like we've had no X-Men, no nothing, as far as I'm aware, since Deadpool 2. Maybe one X-Men movie.
I don't know. I feel like we got Dark Phoenix.
Not that I'm a massive X-Men. Was that after Deadpool 2? That's the only one I was thinking that potentially
Apocalypse,
is after Deadpool 2.
I'm not sure. Dark Phoenix definitely did because that was made and then it came out after. That is the only X-Men film to come out under Disney because it was still made and they just released it after they.
Oh, is it? Okay, Fox. Yeah.
But Deadpool's been sort of in a bit of a limbo for a few years. Now, I feel like with Deadpool, it's one of those ones that, at least I'm only talking for like myself, but I would assume our generation, where we weren't familiar with the character prior to the first film as much. Or
I don't know if I was.
Or I guess some people probably were because of the Deadpool game which came out.
Yeah, the Nathan Fillion. Is Nathan Fillion that voice is?
I don't know if it was.
I feel like... Do you know why I think I was familiar with Deadpool?
Yeah.
Because of... Is Deathstroke's DC, isn't it?
Yes.
Because I seem to remember like Deathstroke being like or like when I was a kid I used to compare Deathstroke and Deadpool. I know they're very similar, but they used to be like, you know, the assassin style, blades, guns. And I remember when Deadpool got announced, I remember being like, oh yeah, this is like the Deathstroke of DC. It's obviously not. It's not. It's so different.
Well, no, but they sort of nicked it a little bit, I think. I don't know what the story is behind it, but obviously they look very similar. And Deathstroke's name is Slade Wilson.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never knew. I never knew it was Slade Wilson. It's obviously some sort of like taken or replica.
It's like a mix, isn't it? Because Deadpool, there's sort of a bit of a meme about Deadpool basically just has the same powers as Wolverine, bar the claws, and has the name and kind of visual look of a DC character called Slade Wilson, which is dangerously close to Wade Wilson. So you sort of wonder whether there's some sort of story.
There must be. I bet if you googled it, there must be. Now you're saying it, I seem to recall there is something to do with this. Like there's some sort of like legal. It might be. Yeah. Do you know what it might be? It might be someone who's come from DC, gone to Deadpool, gone to Marvel, and they might have made Deadpool in like spite of DC. I could be wrong, but for some reason that rings a bell slightly.
Might be one of those sort of things. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, off the top of my head, I'm just sort of like. It's interesting that you brought up. I'm just interested that you brought up Deathstroke because there obviously is some similarities there. But yeah, anyway, the first film came out. The first film was a really contentious one anyway because fans wanted a Deadpool movie. They brought Deadpool into X-Men Origins Wolverine, of course, very infamously starring Ryan Reynolds, who
he had a cameo in an X-Men movie prior as Deadpool.
He was the villain.
Yeah.
He was the villain. He was like a wisecracking Ryan Reynolds, and then they had him turn into Deadpool, and that's when it was like they'd sewn his like mouth shut.
Yeah,
which was a bit strange, but I guess
was Deadpool the first 15 rated Marvel movie?
18.
It's not 18 rated.
It is in the US, which is by their standards. I guess so. That's the thing in the UK is 15. Always has been. Yeah, because we're not
16
not
plus on Disney Plus.
Oh, there you go then. Yeah, but it's always R-rated in America because that was the big thing. I think it was one of the highest grossing R-rated films of all time.
Was it the first R-rated Marvel movie? I can't think of any prior. Not. Logan is, but Logan's after.
Because it depends what you mean by Marvel movie, though.
I like both. Oh, well, I guess some of the X-Men movies R-rated.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying what you mean by Marvel movie because then you could
like I mean like both. I mean just like in. Oh, because Sony as well, I guess.
Generally, no, just any, because like Marvel, as in like a Marvel property being adapted. Because
I mean, just all of them. I mean, just like
all Blade,
Marvel
for example,
property.
like the old Blade films. I'm sure they were like R-rated. I'm sure maybe. Yeah. What's the Nicolas Cage one with the fucking skull man? I can't remember the name of that. Something.
You know wait, it's Daredevil and stuff. Are they?
Oh yeah, but I don't think so. Well, anyway, older Marvel films are probably but Deadpool was their first.
Yeah, Deadpool was the first like major, like the first big one.
And then they did Logan after Deadpool, and then Deadpool 2. So I think that by that point they proved that you can make these comic book superhero films R-rated or 15 in the UK, and you can still you can still earn money from them. You can still do really well from them. There's no like financial risk to doing a more adult film.
I think some of the characters deserve to be R-rated or 15, whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. I think some of the characters like Logan, before we move on to Deadpool, I want to rewatch Logan so badly because I've not seen it in forever. Logan is honestly, I genuinely think it's one of the greatest Marvel property movies like ever. Like it is an absolutely phenomenal movie. Like the music in it's phenomenal, the story's amazing. Daphne Keane X-23 is phenomenal. Hugh Jackman is, as always, is phenomenal. Like, I went to see that movie. It was the first ever 15 rated movie I went to see in cinemas. And I was 14 when I went to see it.
Oh, you.
Because I am Raj.
See, that was me with Deadpool.
Oh, really?
So I must have seen...
yeah,
actually, maybe not.
My dad took me to see Logan because it was so, like, highly rated. And we booked the tickets online. And my dad's like, make sure you've got, like, nice clothes on so they don't question it. And we just walked straight in.
Yeah, so Deadpool came out February 2016, so it would have been about like less than a month before my 15th birthday. So
wow.
It was like, I went to see that, and that was the first sort of 15 film I've watched. And it was brilliant. Yeah, I love that.
It's phenomenal.
They're
both
fun. And Logan is an absolutely brilliant film as well. I don't want to like just cross that over. It's excellent. I think it's one of those ones that's sort of up there with like The Dark Knight in terms of like an independent standalone superhero kind of film
agree.
That stands apart from the rest of the genre and the cinematic universe. Yes, it is the end of the X-Men story, but there's no way that anyone can compare these films.
I've genuinely not seen any of the X-Men movies prior to Logan, nor have I seen any of the other Wolverine movies, and it stands on alone well.
Me neither. I love that film. Yeah.
So well done. But yeah, Deadpool 1. So for reference, we both watched Deadpool 1 last night.
Yeah, we did.
For
just
this.
completely
I've managed to get around
accidentally.
to watching Deadpool 2, and we're like 2 days out from Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, so
we want to watch Deadpool 2 tomorrow, really, but I have seen it a few years ago. Not too long ago. Not as long ago as I'd watched Deadpool 1.
No, yeah. Deadpool 2 I've seen more. Deadpool 2 I reckon I've seen a few times more recently. Like, I've probably watched it more than I've seen Deadpool 1 at this point.
Yeah, I think same, and I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
As I discovered when rewatching Deadpool 1 last night, I kind of clocked what my opinions would be. So interestingly, obviously, when Deadpool came out, it was a big thing because it was never originally commissioned until the leak happened.
Yeah.
So you're aware of the whole leak thing? So footage accidentally leaked online.
Yeah.
From Fox. Some person involved happened to leak the footage online, and the footage, it was the test footage. It was at the opening of Deadpool where he's like fighting in the car, and they basically reshot it for the final film. But like the original footage is a lot more CGI, but it looks really good, and it's exactly what fans wanted Deadpool to be.
Did Ryan Reynolds' approach to do Deadpool, is that right? Because
he wanted to do it.
I've read that somewhere. Yeah, I seem like I've read that somewhere. He was
a big advocate of it, and he was disappointed that it didn't get out. Which is a lot of rumors that he leaked it. We don't know for sure. We're never going to know who actually leaked it. Maybe we will one day. But someone leaked it, and because it leaked, it was so well received online that fans absolutely rallied behind it. So much to the point where Fox were like, "Okay, we'll make an R-rated Deadpool film."
Yeah,
big risk.
The intro sequence of Deadpool 1 is unbelievable. It's phenomenal.
It's a classic one, isn't it? I think
it's fantastic.
But for me, and I'll just jump right into the deep end, is I just thought that, like, even though I've not seen it in years, I was sort of just like, the novelty is kind of worn off. I don't know whether there's been better things in recent years that are sort of mixed comedy with, with superhero stuff. I don't know whether I've been desensitized by watching The Boys recently. I don't know.
Yeah, potentially. I think there's one thing that I think I definitely took away from it was I think 15-year-old, 16-year-old me enjoyed these movies more, but that's just because like the content in it, you're like, like I'm 15, like I'm 16, I can't believe I'm watching Ryan Reynolds get pegged, and like they're talking about all this different stuff. That's the first thing you
go to, really.
Because I completely forgot about that scene in the first movie, and it completely caught me by surprise when it came on. But yeah, I think 15 and 16-year-old me, it's such like, not that I'm desensitized to it now, but it's like,
it doesn't hit as hard, does it? But
yeah,
I think
it's not like as risque, if that makes sense.
It was the first of its kind, though. When it came out, there wasn't any films really that were doing this, that were a comedy superhero film within the X-Men universe, like within an existing universe, that were funny and R-rated and had gore. It was a lot of firsts there, and it absolutely pays off, and it paves the way for the second film, which I think actually, on reflection, now I do need to rewatch the second film. I think the second film was better.
I always thought the first film was better, but but now that we're talking about it, I genuinely do think I prefer the second film.
Shall I tell you why? I think because he's Deadpool for longer. I did notice with the first film a lot. Obviously, it's the origin story. It's a lot of it is him out of costume. And I didn't think about that when I first watched it, because maybe I didn't care. Maybe I just cared a bit more about learning this character for the first time. But I'm like, the time he spends as Deadpool is very little in the film. I'd love someone to like pull up a stat of the whole 2-hour film and go like, what percentage? What percentage is he in the Deadpool costume?
Yeah, it is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's I do think as an origin movie for Deadpool, I do think it's phenomenal.
It's excellent.
I do think it's really well done.
I don't have any problems.
I think it's a really good way of doing it. Doing the intro as Deadpool and get like almost like the flashback origin story, if that makes sense. Because I think if it started in order and started him with Wade Wilson, I don't think the film would be nearly as good. No, I think it needs the origin because it has this sort of like great. You need to meet Deadpool story first before you find out about his origin. Of course, and I think they did it. I think the way the film's structured is brilliant. Don't get me wrong; I have absolutely no quarrels with that at all. I think it's genuinely brilliant, but I actually think I prefer Deadpool 2, like on reflection, because I feel like in that one, it's a lot more about being like a superhero. Yeah, and like doing that's the whole point of the movie, isn't it? Yeah, it's like whereas with that,
Where it was obviously with this one, it's all about like saving his relationship and getting back, and it's very serious actually. The film is very serious, and it has the comedy and it has those light moments, but the majority of it's quite serious and quite dark, in a good way. But Deadpool 2 is like, I think leaps and bounds above the first in terms of comedy. I think.
Yeah, I think characters as well in the second one. I think it blows. The second one, like. They have like the high budget, like Juggernaut alone in the second movie is so comic book accurate. It is unbelievable.
Proper Juggernaut.
It's so good. Yeah, you got Negasonic. You got Domino in the second one, I believe.
Yeah, Domino, Cable,
Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
unreal.
But there's just so much in it. They do X-Force. They do, but he spends. But because his girlfriend dies at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
You take a lot more time to be the superhero side, which is kind of what I'm excited about for Deadpool and Wolverine, because it looks like he's in his happy life, he's got his home, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he sort of disappears.
Gets thrown on his head.
The TVA or whatever. And then gets put into this story, and that's when he has to be Deadpool, and he's not surrounded by all these familiar characters. I quite like that in a way, because
I also think I prefer the opening to Deadpool 2.
Oh my god!
When he's lying on the oil cans, he's talking about Wolverine taking his life.
Oh,
I was finale.
I was thinking about when he had the first like fight scene where he shows up and they start playing Dolly Parton. I think they start playing Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
And he's just slicing off guys' heads and stuff. Yes. It's crazy, but it's a great scene.
No, like the opening monologue that he gives when he's lying on the cans with the cigarette and then flicks, or it's the match or whatever, and flicks it.
It's the little toy dead Wolverine from Logan.
Yeah.
Because it was only like a year after, and I think they just really nailed that on their head of taking the piss out of that. And
then the bastard just goes and dies. Like, that it's amazing,
and then it builds up, of course, to the new one, and I'm so excited for that as well. But
I'm so excited for the new one. Like, genuinely, I'm still like, I have my quarrels with the new one, but it has nothing to do with the actual movie. That I have my
worries, but after watching Deadpool 1 last night, I'm like, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna have a fun time, and I'm not really gonna give a shit about the extra stuff. My worry is it's in the MCU, and my worry with that is they're gonna try and make it very lore heavy. I'm going to bring in loads of cameos, and I know that's what they're going to do, because in the trailer alone, we see far too much, which I know you have a problem with, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about this.
They've shown, the one pet peeve I have with film trailers nowadays, and it's interesting that since then, Kevin Feige's come out and said in the future he would be willing to do only one trailer per Marvel film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck didn't you do that with Deadpool?
It did frustrate, like, this interview did frustrate me, because I fully understand, like, really trailers are, and there was an interview where he talked about this and he made a good point saying trailers are almost for the wider audience. Like, he basically said that, like, he expects Marvel fans to watch the movie anyway, and that you shouldn't, as a Marvel fan, you shouldn't watch the trailers, which, yes, I understand, but it still pisses me off slightly, because the reason it pisses me off is because you have to think about the wider, you have to think about it, you putting out these trailers isn't, like, because you put this trailer out, like, we don't get to choose whether we watch this trailer. If I can choose not to watch this trailer, and I will open any social media because I'm a Marvel fan, it will show me every single thing, every single person who maybe was going to be in this movie who now definitely is in this movie, there are fucking Twitter accounts that post every single new shot, like, every single new scene from a trailer that we've not seen before. So no matter what, I'm going to see this stuff. On TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is.
Twitter pages as well, where they're just like,
it's all
first
this
look
stuff, like,
at this character in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, well, there you go.
Even like Twitter, like when all the leaks were happening, like the 20th Century Fox logo in the background, like having Alioth, like all this stuff, like being in the Lambs Routine stuff, like. Yeah, like Ryan Reynolds put a statement out being like, hey, we understand everyone's excited, but please be conscious that, like, and I genuinely think this, like, because one of my biggest pet peeves in anything is people spoiling movies, and you know this. You know how much this irks me, and this, honestly, this stems from Endgame.
No,
I had Endgame spoiled for me, and this irks me, right?
Oh, man.
I'll quickly tell my Endgame. So,
go on.
I saw Endgame on release day, right? I couldn't see it at midnight because it was school, whatever. I saw it on release day. I literally blacklisted all of my social medias. I wasn't on social media 3 days leading up to Endgame, right? Because I was like, I'm not having this movie spoiled.
Yep.
Had the tickets booked Friday, finished school, got through the full day. as I was leaving the fucking gate, and this shows how much it annoys me, someone who wasn't a Marvel fan, hadn't gone to see the movie, shouted, "Iron Man dies in Endgame!" Mate, I've never in my entire life, and you can tell, I've never been so angry in my entire life, and still to this day I hold on to it. And this is why it irks me so much that I hate people spoiling films, and I genuinely think this needs to go out to trailers and everything, because I'm going to go into Deadpool and Wolverine on Thursday having a slight grudge because of all the stuff that's been in the trailers that I've seen. And I've not watched half of the trailers that have come out, like, the last few weeks. I've deliberately not watched them. But social media keeps showing me all these new people who have been confirmed. Yep. Like, and this is not, I'm not just having a go, I'm not just having a rant at social media. I think it's also down to, I don't think, and especially the week leading up to, the amount of stuff that they've shown the week leading up to the movie, that you could have just waited 4 days to not show. Like, it makes no difference. And it would have had such, like, a much bigger impact having it, like showing them and having them just in the movie. Like X23, the amount of interviews, right, Daphne Keane went through where people asked her, especially Acolyte, every fucking Acolyte interview, "Hey, Deadpool and Wolverine, are you in it?" And she was like, "I've not had the call." She's done incredible, to not spoil anything, right? Absolutely phenomenal. 4 days before the movie comes out, she's in a trailer. One shot in a trailer. And I'm not being funny with how Marvel, Star Wars, any fucking franchises go now. I guarantee you that's the only shot of her in that movie. Because that's another thing that annoys the life out of me at the moment. Acolyte's a perfect example. All the Light Whip stuff was in the trailer. Every single bit of the way you got the Light Whip and Acolyte was in the trailer.
Fucking right. I mean, we're getting a little bit off topic, but I can completely agree with you on that. It's like the whole thing with the Light Whip in Acolyte.
It's ridiculous.
The only shot it's used is in that one bit, and that's put in the trailer. It's like, why the fuck would you even put that in the trailer? Do you know? Because that would have been so exciting in that episode to see that and not know what was coming. Even if you knew it was coming, just to not know what it was going to look like. I've already seen it. Yeah, you're completely spot on. And it's the same thing. Trailers are getting worse with that.
Madam Web is the exact same as well.
Oh, well, who gives a fuck about Madam Web?
Madam Web was a bad film anyway, no matter what.
Who gives a fuck about that?
But Madam Web annoyed me because the only bit of the Spider-Girls that we got was all the stuff in the movie was in the trailers.
Yeah, okay.
And that annoyed me as well.
But this is the thing.
And that's a bad movie anyway, but it's like the principle, it's that thing.
Marvel don't need to do that. Marvel shouldn't need to do that because they're gonna, like, Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna sell. It baffles me why there's been so many trailers.
Yeah.
And also trailers that are like, okay, they're all right, but they're not great trailers. This is the other thing that annoys me is that
the two main ones are incredible trailers.
I don't give a shit.
Are really good trailers.
I think beyond that, the advertising campaign has been piss poor. I think
it's
genuinely,
the 15-second,
but we're talking
30-second short trailers that I don't understand.
We're talking about Deadpool. Do you remember the promo for Deadpool 2? We did a whole Bob Ross skit.
Oh my god,
Where the fuck is that kind of the creative energy going into the marketing campaign?
It's true, actually.
Okay, yeah, we're taking the piss out of the June popcorn bucket. So we've got a popcorn bucket that has Wolverine's open mouth. It's not that funny. Can we stop talking about fucking popcorn buckets for a second? Like, I'm going to rant about this. This winds me the fuck up, right? The June thing was funny because it was completely, I mean, maybe accidental, probably
unintentional.
Not, right? But it clearly wasn't, and it was funny, right? They got a big sandworm, it looks very phallic, you stick your hand in it, whatever, right? Great. Funny. But Deadpool and Wolverine trying to really capitalise off that and go, yeah, we'll sell loads of popcorn buckets. Every independent cinema chain doing their own fucking popcorn bucket. It's like, please, for the love of God, stop it. For me, it's not how you market a film. I've got film accounts that I follow being like, first look at the Deadpool popcorn bucket. I don't care about the fucking popcorn bucket. Stop
Do you remember
showing me it. That's not marketing. That's how you market a fucking film, man.
Do you remember the other promo for Deadpool 2 that they did for, I think it was for Free Guy with Korg and Deadpool?
Yeah, that was a good
Taika Waititi. That was good. Like, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? And it just feels like, I think this possibly is the Disney effect of Deadpool
probably
coming to the MCU.
That we haven't had the same creative energy going into it. The best thing they did for this film in terms of like announcements and advertising was when they announced that Hugh Jackman was going to be in it, and they did like a sit down with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and they were like, it just basically was just like, yep, Deadpool 3, we're in it together, we're both in it.
And they're doing like this bit we go raw, and then he goes, and I went like this, duh, and it's like with the it was great on the sofa.
But that's great. That's genuinely creative marketing because it gets people talking, it gets people excited. What they haven't done is anything anywhere near the Bob Ross thing, and that annoyed me. That was such a great teaser. And they don't do that
really,
sort of thing anymore.
Really frustrates me because I personally don't see why I should have a trailer every day for the week leading up to the movie coming out.
No, you don't need it.
Especially when you're showing
I think they're worried.
brand new stuff.
I think they're worried
when
about
you're showing brand new stuff. You're showing stuff like this, like even before this week, which I've had an awful week with it this week. I think they've shown too much.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown Sabretooth, like Mephisto, whatever that guy's called. Elektra, I think, has been shown. There's so many of the old X-Men that they've shown in or teased in trailers who were rumoured to be coming. They've announced today, or yesterday, in an interview where they planted fake leaks, which...
Sure.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, I'm not being funny. Why plant fake leaks?
But fake leaks are pointless because then you're getting hyped up for something. Like, let's say the fake leak was... Let's go back No Way Home, right? Let's say the fake leak was... like that Andrew Garfield was going to be in it, and actually he wasn't, and the fake leak was the thing that actually leaked, and he wasn't in the film. You'd be so disappointed. You would hate that. So if your favorite character that you wanted to see again, like, it doesn't matter how small a character. Like, I don't know Marvel intricately enough to have my niche favorite characters, but let's use Star Wars as an example.
Yeah.
If like they did a fake leak of, I don't know, Acolyte Season 2, and it had fucking Dexter Jetster in there, I would be losing my mind with excitement because I fucking love stupid niche characters like that. Yet, if he doesn't appear, I'll be like, well, what the fuck? Dexter Jetster was supposed to be in that. You're pissing people off whose fan favourite character might be there. But then I think the problem is just with trailer marketing generally, like, people, they show too much. They show too much. Studios show too much when they're nervous that they're not going to earn the money that they used to earn. I think Marvel are shit scared that Deadpool and Wolverine will underperform. And I think there's a lot of eyes on it because Deadpool has a successful history. It has a successful following. It has a successful history with film and how much it earns. And it's Marvel MCU's technically, probably not their first, I think it is their first properly R-rated thing.
I mean, I can't think of any other MCU one. Yeah, I think no others.
Yeah, I mean, they had an F-bomb in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but like other than that,
yeah,
I think this is their first sort of delving into that. So there's a lot of eyes on it, and if this doesn't do well, after the last few films haven't done well, I think there's going to be some serious talks at Marvel, and I think there's going to be some serious talks regarding the future of these films. So I think they're shit scared that people aren't going to watch it, so they have to over-advertise it. They did the same thing years ago. The famous example is with Terminator Genesis. I don't know if you're familiar with the Terminator films.
Yes. Yeah.
And they released Terminator Genesis, which is already the third reboot iteration. The second reboot iteration of the Terminator franchise. They tried with Salvation, didn't work. They tried with Genesis to make another trilogy, didn't work, and they tried again in the future with like Dark Fate, and that didn't work. They've actually got a trilogy of films that failed trying to start their own reboot trilogies, which is quite funny. But Genesis, the trailer came out for that, and it spoiled the big plot twist in the middle of the film.
It's ridiculous.
It's an old film now, no one gives a shit, but the main thing was like John Connor is like the leader of the human resistance or whatever, and it's like redoing history and stuff like that. Had a lot of cool stuff in the film as a selling point. And the big thing in the trailer, one of their like last trailers, they revealed that John Connor was in the film and he was actually a Terminator. And it's like, well, that, and you watch the film, you're like, oh, that's really cool. And you watch the film and you're like, oh, that's the big twist. That's the twist of the film. It's
ridiculous.
Right there. Because in the way you watch the film, the way it's structured, that is the twist. Yeah. That's the only sort of exciting, twist in the narrative. And it's spoiled because you know what's coming. And that's the thing with marketing these days. Hollywood learned from that a little bit, but I think they're starting to go back on it, especially with Marvel. Marvel have relied too much on cameos, too much on references, and I think worries me.
Some could say they've relied too much on nostalgia bait.
There we go. We've peaked.
He's done it.
We've peaked.
Cut the episode there.
This is like when we mentioned the Slug from Star Wars. We're not. I don't think we get any better, but we have. We've got a name dropping there.
We've peaked.
Beautiful.
That's it. But I think this is the case. It's like the Marvel trailers. I think I've not that I've been too tuned in for the previous Marvel movies, but I think this trailer is kind of like the
Marvel films were.
What? Sorry,
I couldn't even tell you what the last Marvel films were.
Guardians 3, The Marvels, Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh.
Black
Really?
Panther.
Wait, hang on. Guardians 3 was like a
Black Panther as well! Black Panther did it! I forgot about this. So, right, a week leading up to the Black Panther movie, bearing in mind, it had been a massive thing being like, who is going to be the Black Panther?
Oh, they put it in.
They fucking showed the Black Panther, and it was obviously Shuri.
Yeah.
It was blatantly obviously her.
Yeah.
It's the exact same situation. I completely forgot about it. But yeah, it's like, I think this Deadpool and Wolverine is the worst that it's been, because they're just showing stuff that they don't. Like, for example, today a trailer came out and showed B-15 from Loki. Like, it's not a game changing that she's going to be in the movie, but it would have been cool if she turned up. Like, it's in the TVA. She's always going to be there anyway. It would have been cool for her to have been in it, and there'd been no reference to it or no trailer for it. Daphne Keane, X-23, is the absolute, if it hasn't already shown, has annoyed the life out of me that they've shown that she's in it.
The thing with that is, interestingly though, as well, it's a difficult one. And I think the only difficult one around that, particularly, is stuff like the premiere. So obviously she was at the premiere.
Yeah.
So it's like, if she was at the premiere anyway, people are going to assume she's in it. But I think when you show it in the trailer, it's like, for fuck's
I'd rather
sake.
have that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather have them be at the premiere and be like, oh my god, like, she's in it.
It was like when The Last Jedi came out, I remember seeing, like, Frank Oz was at the premiere, and you're like, well, Yoda might be in this then. It's a tricky one, that. But I think when it comes to other stuff, my hope is, because the way this film seems to be natured is it seems to be like bringing back a lot of characters and cameos and stuff like that. I think there will be a lot that the trailers haven't shown. And I hope to God, because if the big twists are the ones we've seen in the trailers, I will be disappointed. Because I've watched all the trailers.
If X-23 is the biggest cameo and they've shown it in the trailer, it will.
I don't think it will be.
Really,
I think there's going to be a lot of.
Me.
I think the good thing about Deadpool is because it's quite self-aware and it's quite meta, we'll get quite silly cameos, which you wouldn't usually get in other films. I think that excites me more. I quite like the idea of daft cameos and stuff. Like, I loved the ending of Deadpool 2 where he remakes the time machine and goes back to, like, you know, Ryan Reynolds reading the Green Lantern script and like the X-Men Origins Wolverine. You get fun, silly cameos like that, and I think when you've got Marvel MCU behind you, you've got almost an endless ball pit.
Yeah,
I'd hope that we get
you've got
like
one hell of a phone
book.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Spider-Man in there. I'd love to see, like, I think the one thing I'd really love to see, if they could pull it off, it'd be marvelous. But no, pardon the pun, awful pun. It wasn't intended. I genuinely promise it wasn't. That was awful. I feel physically sick. The one thing I would love to see is Chris Evans playing Johnny Storm.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that
really
would
cool.
be fucking amazing if they managed to pull that off. Because I think
so funny.
I think what's the one Marvel film really from my childhood that they have never like brought back or referenced in any sort of way is they've never really brought back that Fantastic Four and that little anomaly of Chris Evans being Johnny Storm in that.
Being Johnny Storm.
Oh please! What a way to bring back Chris Evans to the MCU just to make him Johnny Storm. Would be amazing.
It'd be a great reference. It'd be an unbelievable
and have
reference.
him in the I don't know what you call it because it's been a while since I watched Loki.
I don't know what it's called.
The underworld thing where they get zapped.
Yeah, where Eliath is, where like the massive dog thing is, the cloud that eats people.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but it's like it'd be funny almost in a sort of meta way that Chris Evans is Johnny Storm is down there. I just wonder what else as well because we've not got the Fantastic Four in the MCU yet. We've not got the X-Men in the MCU yet. This is the
starts
first
filming
time.
Next week. Fantastic Four.
Does it? Exciting.
Yeah. So it means we're going to get set photos. Woohoo!
Hey, lovely. I think I'm hoping a lot of it'll be in studio because it's got that sort of vintage aesthetic, isn't it? So I'm hoping that
it's supposed to be set like very early on.
Whereas Deadpool and Wolverine took a sort of a page out of Doctor Who's book and just sort of filmed half of it in a quarry. So I respect that, but also
why not?
Yeah. But I'm excited.
Keep saying we don't want them to use the volume, so.
Oh, that's a Star Wars issue. I don't even. Do Marvel use the volume? I wouldn't know, to be honest.
I actually don't know. I reckon that some of the TV shows might have.
Yeah, to be honest. I think it's one of those ones. I'm just looking now. I didn't realise that Marvel hasn't actually had a film this year. I genuinely just thought I hadn't been watching them, but this is the only Marvel film this year.
The Marvel's not come out this year?
That was last year.
Really?
November last year.
Oh my god! So
last year was Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the Marvels, and then this year Deadpool and Wolverine, and then next year Captain America.
What TV? Are we only getting one movie this year?
Yeah,
because Captain America's got a trailer. Did you see the Captain America trailer only came out the other day?
I did watch it, but I feel like I haven't watched it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it was sort of like a weird fever dream. I've seen it, and I think I have seen it, but I can't actually physically remember watching it. I must be able to if it's come out that soon.
It looks okay. I mean, it looks okay. We'll see what it's like.
Oh, don't worry. Agatha All Along is coming out this year as well.
I can't wait for that. I actually can't wait. I love Agatha Harkness so much. I'm so excited for it.
Really soon. I'm surprised they haven't released anything for that.
They did the trailer that showed that Agatha's been changing the title of the TV show the whole time. It was Agatha All Along. Did you not see this? So do you know how Agatha
I did
the
see
show?
That. I think that's very silly, but I actually respect it as a marketing technique because it does get people talking and going, why are they changing the title of this show so many times?
Yeah.
And I respect that.
It was Agatha Coven of Chaos, Agatha House of Harkness, Agatha and the Darkhold Diaries.
Yeah.
And then it came, it was like, oh, it was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for it.
I don't know anything
else
about
Wicket.
that
It's introducing Wicket as well.
Wicket? What? Although, the fucking Ewok from Return of the Jedi, played by Warwick Davis.
Return of the Jedi, Wicket. Yeah, exact.
I can't believe they're bringing him into Marvel. That's crazy.
Marvel's in a really weird position at the moment because you've set up Kang the Conqueror, and it's like the whole Kang storyline is absolutely crumbling under their feet.
It's dead in the water. They are now. No, they're not though. Now, are they?
What?
They're completely going back on it.
What I'm saying is they're trying to do the biggest U-turn of the entire career. It is unbelievable the straws that they're trying to pull. They've changed Avengers 5 was supposed to be Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Is that now because of Jonathan Majors? Or is that
because of everything that happened because of Jonathan Majors?
Oh, is it? I thought it might have been because of Ant-Man and the Wasp as well.
I think it's a bit of both. I think if Ant-Man and the Wasp had done well, then they probably would have continued it, but with all the Jonathan Majors stuff, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp tanking.
Loki season 2, is he in that as well?
Loki season 2, he's in, and it is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh,
and
right.
It's slightly frustrating because Loki season 2 is so good, but then at the same time, the ending of Loki season 2 is so self-contained. It's so well done.
Right. Okay.
And really, with how Loki season 2 ends, you can actually probably get away with not having Kang in the future. It's a shame because Kang's such a good villain in the comics and stuff like that.
Right.
But at the same time, I fully understand. So they basically Avengers 5, which was supposed to be the Kang Dynasty, or whatever it was supposed to be called, is now gone back to the title Avengers 5. That's now its code name. And then Secret Wars, they're now eyeing the Russo brothers.
I think they'll still do Secret
both
Wars.
Avengers movies.
Because I think
they're talking about still doing Secret Wars.
They still need to do a multiversal event. I think that's the thing is they need to do a multiversal thing for the big Avengers film because that's the only way you can really step it up that far from the
Secret Wars is massive though.
I know, but they're going to have to really do something cool with that.
Genuinely, no word of a lie, Secret Wars is actually make or break for Marvel. Because Secret Wars as an event in the comics is absolutely catastrophic.
I don't know anything about it.
So in Secret Wars in the comics is about essentially two universes colliding together.
Oh, really?
And creating this whole new world. I can't remember what it's called. It's got an actual name. And basically it's like Secret Wars is this event that... And it's teased in... They talk about it. You know, did you watch Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness?
Yeah.
They talk about two universes colliding and it basically destroys both universes.
Right.
I can't remember what the world's called. It's got an actual name, but it's basically two Earths, like Earth, our current one, and another one colliding together. And it causes this this mixed match of both these worlds. And it lasts a little while. It's permanent damage. And it basically causes these factions of all the superheroes from one universe and all from the other one start fighting together. That's what Secret Wars is. And then in an interview, they were like, "Oh yeah, what?" Yeah, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're eyeing Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire to lead this movie," which is just bonkers. So it could be a good time, but then at the same time, Secret Wars involves Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four's talking about.
I don't think
so
Jackman
many
would do
rumors about.
I don't think so either.
I
I know we said
I do as well.
Logan, but I think he said Logan. It's like the one thing that brought him back was the opportunity to do something with Deadpool and to do.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got any interest in doing a massive universe.
I don't,
because for him, he's done that with the X-Men
huge
films.
Secret Wars.
So I feel like if they're gonna do something with Wolverine, they'll get it out of the way with Deadpool. They'll retire him properly in this, give him a good send off, and then sort of crack on.
And also, this Wolverine is a different Wolverine. It's not even.
Well, you know, they've actually realistically. With I can't remember the actress's name. Sorry, Daphne Keane, is it?
Daphne Keane.
They've absolutely nailed that because now bringing her back into this, she's a bit older, that she can be Wolverine now, and I think handing that down officially, baby. Like obviously, okay, we don't have the Logan Wolverine, but that's that classic thing of like you cannot recast that. Because they will just never be as good as Hugh Jackman was. They'll never be as renowned as Hugh Jackman was. Spider-Man, okay, there's been recast, right? But with this, I think you've got a perfect opportunity just to hand the mantle down.
Daphne Keane, like, to head the X-Men in the MCU would be so perfect. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, from Acolyte alone, we know she will bend over backwards to learn the choreography, right? Her fight scene in Acolyte was phenomenal.
She was excellent in Acolyte, yeah.
I can only imagine the hard work she's put into to play an incredible X-23 in the MCU. And I think it's such a good time to do it. Yeah. You've teased it with Miss Marvel. You've got a perfect line to have a brand new, not done before. Like, this is the issue you have to avoid having is you can't redo too many characters. You can't just redo the entire X-Men because we've had so many X-Men movies before.
Yeah.
Yes, establish it, have it. Secret Wars, bring them back, do some stuff.
This is what I mean, though. Like,
with this, you need to do a new era.
You have to do a new era, and it's like almost sort of thing of you want to like accurately like adapt these characters from the comics. It's like you cannot do a better Logan Wolverine.
You can't.
Than Hugh Jackman.
He's
so established, and they're bringing him back again. There's no way you can do a better one than him. He is Wolverine. He is Wolverine in the same way that, like, I don't know. Tony, like fucking, they wouldn't recast Tony Stark, would they? Right? That's the same thing. They wouldn't do that because it's so, like, I mean, even more so with Wolverine, I'd say, because it spans over so many more years. We're talking over, like, 20 years. When was the first X-Men film? When did X-Men come out? The original
2004, film? I'm going to say.
I think it's earlier than that, you know? It was 2000.
Really?
For 24 years,
God.
Hugh Jackman has been fucking
Wolverine.
And he's incredible at it. And people know he's in it. And they know how good he is. And he's been in so many of these films. They're not going to cast someone else as a Logan Wolverine. The best thing they could do was make Daphne Keane Wolverine.
Like, I'm not, like, with Hugh Jackman, I'm not being funny, right? He's done it for 24 years. We have got Hugh Jackman Wolverine in the yellow and blue suit.
We've got
You're
Logan.
Done. You've actually...
Wolverine. Like, we've got that now.
Actually peaked. Yeah. Like, you've actually physically peaked with Wolverine. Like, you cannot go from this to going straight into a brand new one. Daphne Keane is so perfect to head it.
Yeah,
you'll probably have to do a new Charles Xavier. Makes complete sense. Fair enough. Like, maybe you'll have to do some of the villains from the X-Men movies. That's fine. Perfect sense. Like,
that being said,
you need to do it. I want to do a younger generation. Like you're doing Young Avengers. Let's do like Young X-Men. Yeah. Like it works. Like, it works so well.
She's old
it's a
enough
new generation.
now, no, to front it. Like,
no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying she's young, but I'm saying like you're doing younger Avengers.
She's 19.
Like, some of the like Kate Bishop is slightly older for the Young Avengers. Like, but you're doing like a new generation. Let's fully dive into this. You're talking about doing Miles Morales. You've done Miss Marvel. You've done Kate Bishop. You're doing Wicket and Agatha House of Harkness, who is a staple in Young Avengers.
He's like one
there's
of the
so many
best,
characters you're doing.
Ewoks.
But you need to just go, like, Scar as well. In She-Hulk, they introduce Scar as the post-credit scene. Like, you're introducing so many of these young characters. Like, let's just dive into it. Let's just like stick it as the front runner that we're doing. The MCU is going to be young. Like, let's do this.
That being said, I'll happily take more Tobey Maguire.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Okay,
any day of the week.
Don't get me wrong.
Like, obviously, we're talking about Hugh Jackman's probably done his time. He's probably not going to come back for Secret Wars. If you bring back Tobey Maguire, though, you'll have me there day one. I will be there, seated.
I will be there no matter what.
I will be there no matter what. Like, I will be there.
And I'm not saying to retire.
3 years. That's not even that far away. What the fuck?
What's that for? Secret Wars?
Yeah. And Avengers 5
it's
is
supposed to be writing at the moment.
That is not happening.
That's not
happening. 2 years from now.
That is not happening.
Less than 2 years.
I'm not being funny. please take. It's been the first Avengers film in years. Like, please take your time. Like, push back Secret Wars. I'm fine. I'm not being funny. They don't even know what they're doing for Avengers.
They're not even going to have all the. They've got a point now where they can't even have every Marvel character in these Avengers films anymore because there's too many. There are too many different things.
It's crazy. It's like,
yeah.
like, I'm not being funny, right? Who are the Avengers at the moment in the MCU?
There isn't. I think Bruce Banner,
Captain America, Hulk.
Yeah.
Hawkeye is retired.
Hawkeye, yeah. Please,
Kate Bishop.
do not bring...
Kate Bishop is a young Avenger.
Okay, we're not doing. Let's not talk about Young Avengers. Let's talk about OG,
No. I'm saying.
OG
No, I'm saying like
Avengers.
Kate. No.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but Kate Bishop is Hawkeye, but she's not because she's young. She's young Avengers.
Okay,
that's
cool.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's not quite ready for that yet.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you watch Miss Marvel?
I watched Miss
Did
Marvel.
you? Did you watch the Marvels?
I didn't watch the Marvels.
Did you see the Marvels post-credit scene?
I did. It's X-Men,
Cool.
isn't it? It's an X-Men thing.
Yeah, Beast.
Yeah. Didn't they make
Yeah, it's
it
very
all?
cool.
Didn't they do it like all like CGI?
Yeah, it looked really good actually. Really good. Really good it was.
I just don't have. I don't know when I checked out. When did I check out?
Endgame.
No, I tell you
No.
what. No, fucking G.
No Way
I
Home.
didn't- No, not even. I think I checked out. Honestly, let me have a look. So what did I watch? TV shows. I watched Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion episode 1. That's when I clocked
I didn't watch that.
I watched Secret
Yeah.
Invasion episode 1 and I was like, done. And then with the films, I think I just watched too much shit in a row to be like, not in a row, but like, okay, Black Widow, didn't enjoy. Shang-Chi,
didn't watch it in
fine,
cinema.
didn't
Shang-Chi was
enjoy.
good.
Eternals was good,
I enjoyed
but
Eternals.
long and boring. No Way Home, okay, but not like, okay, taking away the nostalgia value, not
Okay, when it came
structurally
out.
a great film. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
excellent when it came out. Fantastic cinema experience. Cannot be recreated. Will never be as good as it was the day it came out. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, underrated. Very good. Thor Love and Thunder, absolute steaming pile of dog shit.
Awful.
Black
Awful.
Panther Wakanda Forever, I quite
That was
enjoyed,
good.
but it was kind of
I really liked
forgettable. Quantum Mania, didn't watch. Guardians
So it was
3,
there where you clocked
brilliant.
out.
But I stopped watching then. Marvels, I think because the Marvels didn't get the best reception, I was not like...
The Marvels was actually, out of all the ones you've just mentioned, genuinely probably one of the better ones.
Okay, probably. It
I'm
probably
being dead
is.
serious.
I'm not,
I
I'm
actually
not surprised.
really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed
I like
Captain
Miss Marvel. I like Miss Marvel.
I enjoyed Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Ms. Marvel series.
I like the Miss Marvel series. I actually really like
I'm
it.
kind of sick of episodic stuff like this because it relies too much on like these sort of things to keep you going, and I think there's too much of it now. And I think the same thing with Star Wars. I sort of watch some Star Wars projects and I'm like, this should be a film. This shouldn't be a TV show. And I think a little bit like that with I think Miss Marvel would have been a great film.
Miss Marvel would have been a great movie.
I just feel like the series it was like how many? Because you don't
I don't know
remember.
if
Do you remember when it came out?
I don't know. I've seen Miss Marvel twice.
Yeah, but it came out in June. Moon Knight came out in March and finished in May. Like they had a month
Back to back
between Moon Knight ending and Miss Marvel starting. It was like, this is too much.
Moon Knight was phenomenal.
And then like it's exactly the same with Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. Like Miss Marvel ended in July and then She-Hulk started in August. It was too much back to back.
Bro, I was proper on the Marvel bandwagon back then. I literally watched all of them on release.
Me too.
Miss Marvel, I watched only She-Hulk.
Me too. Miss Marvel's the only one I didn't watch.
Thing is though, She-Hulk I only watched for Daredevil. I watched it just for the Daredevil.
I'm not being funny. She-Hulk is definitely one of the better.
Easily. I'm saying I watched it for Daredevil, but really enjoyed it as a total.
I don't think they're ever brilliant She-Hulk back. I'd be surprised at this rate.
Really?
Because didn't the actress who plays She-Hulk? Look, this isn't me going. She-Hulk. This is not me saying She-Hulk's bad. I actually really enjoyed She-Hulk, and I'm not getting on that bandwagon of people shitting on it. But it was actually funny, and it was not like Deadpool level, but it was sort of a good Marvel equivalent of that, and it was unique, and I liked it. What I will say,
I tweeted when it first came out. Well, you know, in the post-credit scene when she twerks with Megan Thee Stallion, mate, I was actually belly laughing. Like that actually made me proper laugh when it happened. It was so funny.
People hated that, but they just can't take anything that goes out of their sort of realm of comfort. But with that, I feel like I remember the lead actress being very, very critical of the CEOs of like Disney or Bob Iger. She was very critical of Bob Iger with the writers' strike. I very, very clearly remember that, and good for her. Slay, like completely agree. You know, go off. I just sort of think like, will they maybe not bring her back because of that? I hope they do bring her back because that was one of the better shows, and I think they're one of the better characters. I enjoyed seeing more Hulk stuff. They kind of very like wink and nudge, you know?
Yeah, like back to the Avengers, there are literally 2 Avengers at the moment. Hulk and Captain America.
From the OG.
That's it.
And even one of them is not...
Even the Captain America's new, but it's still Captain America's, yeah.
The Captain America mantle.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, I guess.
But then they're currently writing Spider-Man 4?
That's not even like in the like thing.
Yeah, they're currently in pre-production writing for Spider-Man 4.
They need to get that fucking right, I'll tell you that now. The good thing is I'm glad that Marvel's kind of died off a little bit because it's like they know that they need to do well, and hopefully that means with this Deadpool and Wolverine film, which by the time you guys are listening to this will be out in cinemas,
it'll be out
able to go and
the
watch
day
it.
this comes out.
The day this podcast comes out,
you could be listening to this on your drive to the cinema to go and see Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'll be seeing this podcast episode go live, telling people to watch it, and I'll be going to see it after work. I'm very excited about it. I have to say I am very excited about it because it's the one where I'm like, you know, it'll either be make or break for me. If they get this right, I'll maybe get back invested with Marvel again, and maybe I'll catch up on the ones I've missed. But
for me,
like
I've said so much about Marvel this episode. I love, like, doing work. I love Marvel. I just want, like,
you want it to be good because you love it.
I want it to be good because I love it. Like, I'm so passionate about it. Like, I've watched all the movies. I've watched nearly all the TV shows. Like, I want it to be done right. Some of these characters I love and adore, and I just want them. I want the justice to be done, and I want the appreciation to be had of these. Like, I just want to, honestly, I want nothing more to be back in Marvel Prime. Like, I want nothing more than to have the hype and to have all this stuff. Like, I look forward to the TV shows, look forward to the movies. Like,
I was never a big Marvel guy, and Endgame was so massive, and I loved it. That whole event, I think a lot of people connected with it, and I think that got me really into Marvel. And they just lost me again because I think they've produced too much stuff where I'm like, this isn't good though. After Endgame came out, I mean maybe like 2021, I think I sat and I binged all the Marvel films in order and all the TV shows, and I you know what, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then since then, all the projects they've released since then, I've been like, this isn't as good. This isn't as good, and I'm almost disappointed with the drop off. It was always sort of thought, it's like there was always an expectation after Endgame for the general audience. I think most people that I've spoken to anyway, they see Endgame, it was the culmination of years of filmmaking, a massive event, and that's it for them. They're like, okay, now's my time to take a step back from watching 5 Marvel films a year. But that was the point where they needed to step up and do something bigger and better. And they tried. I think with No Way Home, you get that value, but you can't just keep bringing actors back and keep going, oh my God, look at this. Remember this, remember this, remember this. Secret Wars probably will be a bit of that. And that'll be so exciting because it will have earned it by then. But I think...
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so.
And obviously Deadpool and Wolverine is probably going to have shit tons of cameos and stuff. But I want it to feel earned. And I'm hoping that Deadpool's meta humor will really elevate just throwing cameos into a film.
I want Secret Wars to be like, I want it to be like Endgame, not in the sense of the like how massive it is, but it was like Endgame was this culmination. It was the first time Iron Man met Star-Lord, like the first time these characters had met, and I want Secret Wars to be that. I want to be like, oh my God, these characters haven't met before, and then like the dynamic on screen is just unbelievable. Like, it feels. Yeah. It almost feels like Marvel at the moment is too connected, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, yeah.
Like, Eternals, yes, is separate. Guardians, I guess you could argue, is separate, but it's still connected because of Endgame. Like, everything is within the Earth. It's in this sphere, whereas it was almost like we had 2 different stories coming together when Endgame came out, and it felt so good to finally... And to have that moment of when all the portals open and everyone comes out, like, it's I want that, special, but I know it's so hard to to replicate, and you can't just do it again. But I want
lightning
to
in a
feel
bottle, but you can recreate that. You just need to take time to earn it. They want to rush into the next endgame like that. They want to have like No Way Home be that. It just doesn't. You can't do it every year. You need to build up.
You've
to
got
it.
to have
people will invest
like
in
the
it
15 years of
I don't want to watch Shang-Chi in the post-credit scene have fucking like Bruce Banner and Captain Marvel and fucking like I don't know who else, but like it just is like, you don't need that. You don't need those characters to appear.
No, I don't. This is my thing though. I'm slightly opposite to you. I don't want to see Bruce Banner and Captain Marvel in the Shang-Chi trailer and then it never be mentioned again. Like, I'm not being funny. We've had them both in individual projects and it's not been mentioned once.
Yeah.
That's the thing that annoys me, is that you're setting up these things. Yes, fair enough. They've done it before. It works.
Yeah.
But it's not mentioned. Shang-Chi's not been seen since Shang-Chi, right? We've had an entire She-Hulk series. You could have just had something in the background, right?
Abomination was literally in Shang-Chi.
Exactly, and it's
wasn't mentioned. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers.
So I think we should wrap this up with a prediction. I want you to predict what your own opinion of Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be, and I want you to give me a rating out of 10. And then after this episode goes live, we'll both see it, and we can put it on Twitter, or we can talk about it in the next episode, whether or not our predictions were in any way accurate. So what do you think what do you think your opinion will be out of 10 after watching Deadpool and Wolverine this Thursday?
This is a good question.
It's a good question.
This is a hard...
You don't have to get it right. It could be funny if you say 10 out of 10 and it's shit.
This is the thing though.
Yeah.
No, but this is the thing though. If I say it's like 7 out of 10 and it's not a 7 out of 10, I'm going to be horrifically disappointed.
What do you mean? Like better or worse? If it's better than 7 out of 10?
No, if it's worse than 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is like my, like 7 out of 10 is like my, it's like my middle point basically. It's like, this film is good. Like, this is like the 7 out of 10 is the bottom line of good. 6.5 maybe a push.
Okay,
like,
I'll
in an ideal world, all projects is 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Like 80%.
You know what? I'll go with
whatever.
you that. I'll say 8 out of 10 as well, because I think it will surprise me. I think it will make me laugh, and it'll surprise me, and I think that it will be enough to get me sort of going with it.
Do you know why I'll give it an 8 out of 10? And I guarantee this movie is not an 8 out of 10, but the hype that, like, if they have cameos in it that aren't shown in the trailers, I think the hype will...
I am gonna lose my fucking mind.
I think it will, like... Yeah, I think on rewatch it'll be lower, but I think as an initial reaction coming out of the cinemas, it'll be 8 out of 10 for me. Or possibly higher, but 8 out of 10 is, like, my point.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I'm excited for it. Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
I think it'll be good. And hopefully you all, hello, people watching, listening, whatever, on Spotify, you can now actually leave a comment and tell us your thoughts.
I saw this.
So please do, after you've seen, if you haven't already seen Deadpool and Wolverine, then obviously go and see it if you fancy. And if you do go and see it, pop back over to the episode and drop us a comment when you've seen it, telling us your rating out of 10 for Deadpool and Wolverine. We'd be very interested to hear your thoughts, whether you want to give us an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10? Just out of 10 rating. Did I say out of 10?
Give us an 8 out of 10.
Just give give us 5 stars on Spotify.
Yeah, give us 5 stars.
But yeah, tell us what your rating would be. Tell us what you think of the film. Be very, very interested to hear what you guys have to say. But
I pray that this podcast episode ages good. I hope this podcast episode does not age horrendously.
It might do. Anyway, we're going to do our final segment here before we wrap ourselves up for Christmas. I don't know.
In July.
I don't know where I was going with that. We have got our little segment called Just News. If you don't know what Just News is and you're new to the podcast, we do it every single episode. At the end of every episode, one of us brings in a funny news story to sort of read out and showcase to the other. And today it's my turn to show and share a funny story with Cooper. Are you ready, Cooper, for Just News?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh no.
I think it's one of those ones where I think the headline isn't the funniest bit of it. The article itself is.
Have you read it?
I have, a little bit.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It is a Christmas miracle. I really have wrapped myself up.
It is a Christmas miracle.
Little bowl. Former mayor caught with pants down logging into council meeting from toilet. This is like new.
Oh,
as well.
This will be good.
This happened last month.
This is going to be good.
So there is a video. Should we watch the video together?
Yeah, we can watch the video.
Obviously, you'll not be able to watch this on stream, but you can. For those watching, you can actually watch the find the article. Oh my god!
You can click. There's always a link below to the article.
You can always find a link to the article we're talking about in the description below, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify. So please do check it out. There's a wonderful little video where you see this little court thing, and you see him logged in, and then sort of shift his camera up. Oh, that's so bad. I don't know exactly what they're saying. Can you see his knob in that? Oh my god, I think you can.
The guy's trying not to laugh at the guy on the mic.
That's really funny. Oh my god. 3-time mayor of Brazil's most famous city was caught patching into an online meeting from perhaps the worst place possible. Cesar Mayor, 78 years old, of Rio de Janeiro's City Hall, logged into his Zoom meeting with other councillors on Wednesday while sitting on the toilet. The politician appeared to quickly realise his mistake after he'd been seen by others in the call with his trousers around his ankles. He quickly brought the camera up to feature his face, but not before fellow participants had noted his curious choice of location. It's a very formal way of putting it. He just joined with such a power pose. He looks like Danny DeVito from fucking Always Sunny. He looks a bit like Danny DeVito.
What it reminds me of?
Yeah.
Have you seen the image of the request one of the guy that's naked?
No, well, I don't.
Be careful when you Google this photo.
Request?
It's like request,
guy.
Oh no.
Request guy. Who are we talking about? This?
I think that's his name.
I don't know.
This is it. Let me try and find the photo and I'll send it to you.
I don't know what you're talking about here, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't actually know. Yeah, see if you can send a photo. Anyway, I'll keep reading as you send a photo. The clip has since caused something of an online storm, being shared countless times across various social media platforms. Nor is it the only story people patching into important calls from weird places have made headline in recent weeks. This doesn't make any sense. On May 30th, a man who'd been suspended from driving was caught logging in for his court hearing from the driver's seat of his car. That's brilliant. That's genius, that one. Corey Harris was appearing at a pre-trial hearing for driving with a suspended license in somewhere County District Court, Michigan, US. As it opened, he said he was pulling into the doctor's office. Give me 1 second, I'm parking right now. Brilliant. Yeah.
I'm not being funny. This is so based. Good on him for staying at home and logging into a Zoom call. He's just taken a massive L with not picking up the camera beforehand.
I'm baffled if has he got it all hanging out, or what's he doing?
I think he's clothed. I hope he's clothed.
No, he's not.
He's not. Oh my god.
I made the mistake of watching that on full screen. Jesus Christ.
Okay, now it's an L. It's an L.
I'm in a job where I have to dial in, and there is many times where I've gone to the toilet at work and I've sat down to drop the kids off at the pool, and I've seen it come up, and it's 1 minute till this online meeting. I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? And usually I run back to my desk and get my laptop, but there is a temptation to do this, and it's good to see what that would look like. And it looks like Danny DeVito squatting out of shit with his knob out. So that's
such an L. I thought it was a W. It's not. It's an L. It's an L.
No, it's a W. It's a power move, is what it is. 78 years old. Why did he think to join? Did he think he maybe didn't have his camera on?
It's a proper boomer move, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a proper doesn't know how to zoom.
Oh God.
3 years though, and Rio de Janeiro as well. He didn't know how to zoom as well. That's true, yeah. Thank God. Oh my God. Bro, there's going to be a completely different article. My God.
Have you found anything on this Request fella?
Yeah, I'm going to show you this photo. We are not showing this photo.
Is it bad? If it's bad...
It's blocked out. It's blurred. Oh, it's blurred out. It's got a massive black box.
I think I know what this is. Thanks. Is it that big or it's having to
You should know. Yeah, it's a big file. This one. This is what it reminds me of. I don't know what this photo
I've
is.
Seen that.
I just googled meme of guy with massive penis. Make sure you've got safe search on.
Right.
That's.
So just to wrap this episode up, Cooper finishing us off there by searching up on Google big
safe search
cock.
is on.
Just massive man with big cock.
That's not what I googled. I googled meme and it doesn't show it. Okay.
Man with big old penis.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what it reminds me of. It's like the power stance.
I say for one, this will be going in the Just News Volume 2 highlights.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for watching, listening, all that sort of lovely stuff. If you're watching us, listening to us on Spotify, we have a YouTube channel now with almost 100 subscribers.
God, YouTube.
You can go and check out. Yeah, god damn. You can go and check that out. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we have a Spotify. And we're also on Apple and Amazon and all that sort of thing. But our main boys are Spotify and YouTube. Give us a sub over on YouTube. Give us a view over on YouTube. You can go and give us a follow on Spotify, obviously, and give us a lovely little 5-star rating if you do so fancy. But
it's not a lovely 5-star rating, George. It's a hearty 5-star rating.
Sorry.
Established.
Shit.
Hearty 5-star rating.
5-star
Run it back.
Rating.
Start the episode again.
Yeah, let's give it another crack.
Run it back.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, listening, all that sort of lovely stuff. You can follow our socials linked in the description below, and we will see you next week with an episode we haven't decided yet.
That's a standard for Nostalgia Vape. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. It's a big surprise. Big surprise. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.